How much should you list your home for? That is one of the most common questions that I get as a real estate professional is, how much should I list my home for? I've noticed that a big default when it comes to listing the home is looking at what the actual value is based on comps in the area, and then setting that home price a little bit higher than that so we have what we refer to as negotiating room. That is a general public perception, and I understand why that is. It's simply because in most other areas of life, when we're selling something, we do exactly that. If we have a used car and we're selling it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or somewhere else, and we really want, say, $15,000 for it, we may set the price at $17,000 or $18,000. You know, we look at that Kelley Blue Book with that little arch and it shows that the car sells for this range to this range. So we have that range and there's that flexibility. There's so many other things that we start at a certain price with the idea that we want this price. When it comes to homes, however, it's a lot different. There are other comparable homes with similar finishes, maybe a slightly different backyard, smaller, bigger, maybe on a golf course, maybe off a golf course, maybe it's a corner home, so you only have one neighbor versus being in the middle of multiple homes. There are so many variables when it comes to that. However, what I've realized after hundreds of home sales is the way to actually get the most out of your home is to make it ultra competitive. So instead of having the buyer negotiating with the seller, because there's only a couple buyers that really want to even get involved and in the mix, because let's say you have a home that's worth $500,000 and you price it at $525,000, trying to squeeze everything out of it. And now you only get one offer, and that offer comes in at $490,000. And you're thinking, now I know I wanted at least $500,000. I priced it at $525,000 to get that. So I'm going to turn around and counter at $515,000, right? And they come up to $495,000 and you come down to $510,000 and they go, no, that's it. I'm at the end of my rope. Or maybe they come up to $500,000 and you get the $500,000 and you feel like you've done the best thing you can do. You got the $500,000 that you wanted. Yay, right? However, had you priced it at $500,000, it would look like such a good deal to so many people that you are at that point impacting what we refer to in economics as supply demand. You're creating more demand and your supply is one. Yes, there are other comparable homes that they can look at. However, yours is the only one that's yours with your exact finishes in your exact location. So you have a supply of one, and if you could create demand of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, instead of having a buyer versus seller negotiation, you have a buyer versus buyer negotiation. If you've ever seen an art auction, or maybe you're like me and you're really into cars and you watch some of those Barrett Jackson or Mecum auto auctions on TV, and they've got that one, say, Corvette or that one classic Camaro, and you've got people with the paddles and they're going, right? Well, we want to set that price that's basically really where you'd like to be and hope that we can get more people in, because we've made it so attractive that now you're pitting buyer against buyer with that fear of missing out for them to say, hey, I want this home, so I'm willing to spend a little more for it. And now instead of getting that $500,000, maybe you get $503,000 or $505,000. I was recently in a multiple offer situation. I was the buyer's representative. The house was listed for $385,000. We put in an offer for $402,000 with a $15,000 appraisal waiver. And I had known that the highest offer was $400,000. However, by the end of the day, when they were making decisions, they went from having 4 offers in hand to 21 offers in hand, and we just got a rejection. There wasn't even a best and final. There wasn't a counter offer or a multiple counter. We had no shot at that home because they priced it strategically and they created that want and that desire. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. And you may remember back in 2021, that was happening all the time. In 2024, that doesn't happen nearly as much. However, when you do it right and you list at that right price, you can really create that frenzy. So pricing at the target, not really below, but certainly not above, is going to generate more interest and create more demand with that supply of one that you have. And most of the time, that's gonna end up resulting in more money in your pocket. Speak to your real estate professional and really think about what you should be listing your home at in order for you to maximize every penny and get the most out of that home. However, believe it or not, when you price a little higher, You reduce that demand, and now you're one-on-one or maybe one-on-two with a couple buyers that might have interest, but you've eliminated a lot of other buyers. By the way, why is that, right? This is an important thing to go over. Why that is if other people are pricing their home right and yours is at 525 and it's only worth 500, then when they're looking at all these homes in that 525 range, maybe there's one with an extra bedroom or a 3-car garage versus your 2-car garage, or maybe a bigger yard, or maybe it even has a pool. All of these things are elements where then your home is the standout because it doesn't have the level of amenities or the size of the yard or garage or extra bedrooms or what have you that these other homes have. And people are saying, why would I bid on that? Because people that are looking to spend $525,000 are usually not saying, I'm going to look at 525 homes to buy a $500,000 home and hope I get a deal. They're usually looking at homes based on what their approval letter is or the cash that they have on hand. And therefore now your home looked the same as some of these others, and your home ends up sitting where others are continuing to sell. So pricing it right to maximize demand is going to give you the best result in the end. Hope this helps and it gets more money in your pocket when it comes to selling your home.